There are three teams that I trust my life with to win the NBA title this year. So it feels like the NBA has been in a parity era. I mean, 7 years, seven different champions. No one has repeated. And within those 7 years, no team defending the title has made it past the conference finals. Like, no team has even come close to defending their own title. But what about this year? Do you think there'll be another champion? Or do you think OKC will take it all? There are actually three teams that I think have a great chance to take the title this year. And spoiler alert, one of them is not OKC. Starting off with the San Antonio Spurs. This year's Spurs team, they give me a feeling of being a complete team. A complete team without playoff experience. However, I can say the same with OKC. They went into last year's playoff series, or last year's when they won the title. They didn't really have any deep playoff experience and they still won the title. So I don't think we can use experience to hold it against the Spurs in saying that they can't actually win a title. I actually think the Spurs have a higher chance of winning the title compared to OKC, just because I think that repeater fatigue is real and there is a reason why teams haven't repeated for 7 years. Now you could say that teams haven't repeated because teams haven't been that great, and that is true to some extent, but I would also like to say that I think the talent is so good these days, in the league especially, and the way that the CBA is structured, it is so hard to build a super team that is contending for a title every year. Like, if we really think about it, the last super team is technically the 24 Celtics, and then prior to that is the 17-18 Warriors with KD and Steph. Those were the only real super teams, and I would even say the Celtics were like a legit super team. Like, they were still beatable, but the Warriors, the 17-18 Warriors, was the last team that was truly unbeatable, and it's nearly been a decade since we've seen a team like that. They give me a vibe that they are here, they have arrived, and they're not messing around. And I only say that because of the team that they actually have around them. They have a great young core, they're very young, talented, athletic, they have good veterans, they have De'Aaron Fox, they have Harrison Barnes, and they have Wemby. Wemby is a superstar, he's an outlier, and he is the X factor in this whole playoff run. The Spurs are second in the West, so they probably won't have to face OKC until the conference finals. Could I see them maybe struggling against Denver? Maybe. I mean, battle of the centers, right? Nikola Jokic, Wemby. I think Nikola Jokic might win that center battle, but I think the Spurs team is better. The Spurs are the only team that I've seen just completely dominate OKC like no other team has. And I don't know what's happening between Chet and Wemby, but Wemby hates that man. And I'm all for it. I love the competition, but I think there's something deeper going on there. We won't get into it. It's going to be interesting to watch, and I'm very excited to see the Spurs play OKC in the conference final matchup. The second team that I think has a great chance to win the title is the Detroit Pistons. When I think of Detroit, I think of the bad boy Pistons. And when I think of this version, or this current version of the Detroit Pistons, they also give me a similar vibe to the bad boy Pistons. Maybe not as bad boyish, I think, but they kind of give a similar vibe. They both play defense at a very high level, and they're both physical, and they have one guy leading the charge, which is Cade Cunningham. Cade is a mini Luka without the defensive liabilities, and I think that's a fair assessment. He is an MVP candidate, he is All-NBA, he's a super duper star. His ability to control games on the offensive side, his late game execution as a shot creator and a ball handler will do wonders for this Detroit Pistons team. And everyone else on Detroit is no slouch either, right? You have Jalen Duren, You have Tobias Harris. The only thing that's really kind of missing from the Detroit Pistons is shooting. They have Duncan Robinson, which gives them some shooting, but other than that, no one really else can shoot. They have Kevin Huerter, he's a decent shooter off the bench. But I think the only flaw for Detroit is probably their three-point shooting. Saying that goes by defense wins championships. And we've seen it last year. OKC was the best defensive team. They locked teams down. Celtics in 24 were a great defensive team. And they locked the Dallas Maverick up. Probably the only team that wasn't that great defensively was the 23 Nuggets, but they faced an inferior Miami Heat team, so I wouldn't really say that they really had to do much. Like, their offense kind of just carried them through that playoff. But defense wins championships at the end of the day. And I think that physical interior and exterior defense that the Detroit Pistons have will carry them to the promised land. Lastly, the Denver Nuggets. I have a great amount of respect for Nikola Jokic, and I think just by himself, he can get you to a conference finals. Just by himself. I think that's how good he is. His ability to play make and be a shot creator, his passing ability, he is basically the fulcrum of an offense. He is the system for Denver Nuggets. And the fact that Jamal Murray has been playing so much better a lot earlier in the season has helped the team get into rhythm a lot better and a lot quicker as well. Obviously, when Aaron Gordon comes back, have Bruce Brown, like, the Denver Nuggets team is pretty big. Like, they're a pretty big team. And I can see them giving OKC, I can see them giving the Spurs trouble physically. Like, because if you think about it, no one can really guard Jokic. Like, no one can really guard Wemby. You can kind of guard Shea a little bit, just because he's not as big. Like, you still can't guard Shea. Like, he's just unguardable, but you can kind of limit his offense a little bit. And Shea's a jump shooter, right? So you can kind of guard him into, like, tough shooting nights. But Wemby is 7'3", Jokic is 7-footer. Like, they can get close to the rim, and there's really nothing you can do to kind of stop them. And that's why I say I give the Denver Nuggets and the Spurs a good chance of coming out of the West. The Denver Nuggets also have the best offensive efficiency in the league. They have the best assist to turnover ratio. They have the best offense. They're doing what they did in 23, beating you with offense. And as long as they can make timely stops when it's in the playoffs, I can see them going very far. Every year after the All-Star break, every team kind of leaves a pattern or trail of who they are and what they're trying to be. The Spurs give me a pattern of being a two-way excellent team. Good offense, good defense, and an alien in Wemby. Detroit gives me bad boy Pistons. Strong defense, physical, and one guy to carry the scoring load. Denver gives me offensive execution. When the game gets tough and everyone's missing shots, you know Denver is going to get a good shot. And you just hope they miss. If the NBA playoffs started tomorrow, I would bet my house on the Spurs, the Pistons, or the Nuggets to win it all. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Thanks.